And from some of the newer guys that I've seen, like Bork and Hansen and Exelby, that are older, they've integrated well, very popular with their teammates. So I don't think that'll be an issue at all.
It seemed very loose out there today.
It was, but crisp.
Yeah.
I can only compare last year for me as a head. I just think we're way ahead of last year in terms of our execution and being ready to play. And I was just telling Jeff, well, what I don't know is the team up the street. Are they in the same, are they way ahead of last year or not? So I'm not sure where, but I just know we are. So I would expect us to be executing and playing better to start. But I don't know how the opposition's going.
You've spoken a lot about the team's skill level compared to last year, especially at the high end. Can you talk about that for a second?
Well, we've got some proven guys. And I always say Bork first because he led the league in scoring. Yeah. So, I mean, you can't not talk about him. Yeah. And I think, going in tomorrow night, we have, correct me if I'm wrong, 3 forwards, 3D that are rookies. So, starting with 6, and I don't know how many are in the open lineup. But you look at them, and you got a second rounder at Spooner that's a scorer. You've seen how dynamic he can be with his speed. Jarrett Knight played on a championship team in London, can finish. Another guy that scored a lot. So just those 2 guys up front alone have a little more pedigree than maybe what came in last year. And Krug played 2 NHL games for Boston last year, and he comes here. So you don't go up there by accident. You're not going to go into a lineup in the NHL. Maybe if you're a 30th place team that's looking at guys, but not the Boston Bruins that are preparing for a playoff run. So it tells you right there that the skill level is pretty good.
Are you doing anything specific strategy-wise to prepare for Manchester tomorrow night?
Kevin saw them play Monday an exhibition game, and again, it's not their full lineup like everybody, they're rotating guys. They've changed it a little bit from typical. They've had the same head coach for 6 years, I believe now, Mark, who's done a good job over there. So typically you don't expect a lot of changes, but with Darryl coming into LA, I think that's trickled down from what he said. There are some things that are different, but until you see them with your own eyes, with their lineup, it's kind of hard. But yes, we prepared how we're going to break the puck out versus our forecheck. We talked about our power play today in zone and up ice, how we're going to try to deal with what they do. But that's it. The neutral zone, we have options pretty much every day. Would work. We hope if we choose the right one, would work against no matter what's happening in there. Again, if you got to pick the right one, they usually take away 2. You got to pick the third one. Right? So that's kind of where we're at.
Have you and your coaches staff finalized the lines for what you're going to see tomorrow night?
We have. We haven't told the players, but they've kind of read between the lines probably this week. So.
Can you talk about Jarrett Knight for a second? What you've seen from him so far this?
Jarrett's got a great release. Gets the shot off well, so we're hoping he can find the areas in the ice to get his shot off, find the back of the net, because he will beat goalies. He attacks the net well from his off wing. We've put him on the left wing even though he's a right shot. He prefers that. We'll start him there, see how it works out. It's a little more difficult to take pucks off the boards, and taking passes on your backhand, so that's going to be a challenge. And if he's up to it, then he'll stay there. I think he's good defensively in his own end, playing for Dale Hunter in London. He's learned that it's important to get in shooting lanes, blocking shots, having a good stick. So now it's just about him asserting himself every shift. It's young guys, it tends to be about consistency. It's sometimes gets easy for them in junior at the end of their career. Then all of a sudden they're turning pro, and some of the things they got away with, they don't. And that's going to be the challenge for him, how quickly that learning curve presents itself and he gets over.
You have 12 first and second year players on the roster right now. What kind of additional challenges do you face as a coach with that level of youth?
I think everybody has that in this league, with the exception of maybe 2 or 3 teams. So it's nothing new. It's just about getting them up to speed to be good pros. I think that's where the older guys come in. Second-year guys can help the first-year guys. So what's unique about this league, even though they're all competing against each other to get to Boston, they have to help one another. So you have to be a good teammate as well as a good individual to be a good team. And that's always a point that we got to get across to the young guys. If the team looks good, everybody looks good. If you try to do too much yourself, it usually doesn't end well.
Hey, thanks a lot. I appreciate you taking the time.